Hey guys, it's Landon from taughtbysurveyor.org, and in this video I'm going to talk about number lines and how you can use number lines to make a 2D grid. Kind of almost get into some survey stuff where you guys get to see some practical application of math. That's really important because I struggled with math until I got to see how you could use it as a tool. So we're getting pretty close. Hang in there, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about the answers to these three questions in our video. What is a number line? Okay. How can two number lines make a 2D coordinate grid? And what is a 2D grid? Don't panic. If you don't know what any of that means, I'm gonna keep it simple. Okay, so let's come over here to this other board and we'll talk about what a number line is. Okay, so a number line is just a concept. And math has lots of these. They're not things that exist in real life. They're just ideas. They're kind of mental frameworks that help us understand math and numbers. Okay, and a number line is one of those. So here we got a number line. Okay. And a number line goes in infinity each direction, okay, and it starts at 0. Because that's where we decided we wanted to start it. Okay, so number line starts at 0, and then you just go in here and have ticks, and at each tick, okay, typically at each tick is a whole number or an integer. We talked about those in another video. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, okay, 3. Okay, and that number line goes on forever. And then, you know, you can plot numbers on a number line. So if I want to plot the number 2, let me get a different color. You know, this is what we call graphing. So when I say, okay, I want to know where number 2 is at on the number line, it's right here. So integers are easy. If I want to know where is 1.5, okay, where's that fraction plot? That plot's about right here, okay. And if I want to know where's pi, where's the mathematical number pi? Well, pi's in here somewhere, okay. So you can plot numbers on a number line. Okay, you can think of a number line as like a special tape measure with no end, and that tape measure goes both directions. So it starts here and goes that way forever, it starts here and goes that way forever. I'm like, look, number lines, man, they're not good for very much. Okay, so, but when you put two number lines together, you get something called a 2D grid, coordinate grid, and that is very cool because that is how we survey. Okay, that's how we do math and mapping as surveyors. So, how can two lines make a 2D coordinate grid? All right, so I'm going to teach you. So we're going to add another number line to our whiteboard, but this time we're going to make it go vertical instead of horizontal. Okay, so this is horizontal, that means sideways. This is the vertical number line, that means up and down. Okay, and we're going to put the same units, same tick marks on here, so every whole number. Okay, now this isn't drawn what we call a scale. That means I'm not a very good drawer. These gaps should be equal between the ticks. They're not perfectly equal because I'm not a perfect drawer. Okay, so now we've got two number lines. Now we've got the basic framework for a 2D grid. Okay, now let me explain the different parts, and I'm going to tell you what surveyors call them and then what the math people call them because they're different, of course. So, most mathematicians, this line right here is called the x-axis. Okay, axis just means the main line. Okay, they call this the x-axis, this one. The vertical axis they call the y-axis. Okay, so mathematicians work in x and y. Why x and y and not f and g? I don't know. That's just what somebody came up with. They thought the end of the alphabet wasn't being used enough, apparently. Okay, but like, you know, math people are silly. That doesn't even make any sense. Okay? Oh, by the way, mathematicians call that the origin, the 0, 0 part where the number lines intersect is called the origin. Okay? Surveyors, we're practical people. We said X and Y, what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to anybody. So we said, we're going to come up with something different. So we call this right here the northing. I'm going to call it the northern control line, okay, or the northing axis. Oop. This one right here, the horizontal, this we call easting. Northing and easting, yes, those are real words surveyors use. Okay, so let me explain what a northing and an easting is. Okay, so northing, as you go up the northern control line, you go farther north, go towards the North Pole. As you go down, you go farther south, go towards the South Pole. As you go right, you go east, go towards the east side. If you go this way, you go left, you go west. Okay? So we don't say westing and southing, but we say northing and easting. Okay, that's pretty common for surveyors. Okay, so, and surveyors also call this the origin. Okay, origin, O-R-I-G-I-N, origin. Okay, now you're probably thinking, Landon, why do I care about any of this? All right, well then, I gotta explain to you. This is our 2D grid. Now I'm going to explain to you a little bit about 2D coordinates. So, let's see what happens when you plot a point on the whiteboard using two numbers, a northing and an easting. So I'm going to give you a northing, and I'm going to give you an easting. They're just numbers. But you're going to see how surveyors use numbers to describe very accurately the location of a single point. Okay, so your northing is 1, your easting is 3. Okay, well you can use these two numbers, northing and easting. This is called a coordinate, coordinate. Okay, we call it a coordinate because it has two numbers. That's where co means two, ordinate. That means fancy number, two numbers. Okay, two numbers, and we can plot this point. So here's what you do. Your northing, this is a positive 1 and a positive 3. So you come up here. By the way, this is positive in the northing and positive in the easting. This is positive in the easting, but negative in the northing. This is negative in the northing and negative in the easting. This is positive in the northing and negative in the easting. You can just draw that on your grid if it helps you remember. So we're positive 1, positive 3. So northing, we come up on the northing control line to 1 unit, and we draw us a little temporary dot there. Okay, we'll call that a TD, temporary dot. Then we come over easting, we go 3 ticks, 1, 2, 3. We do a temporary dot there. Okay, and then we just draw a line straight up and a line straight over, and where those two lines intersect, that's our point. This is our coordinate. Okay, so we just described a location on this whiteboard using two number lines and a northing and an easting. That is pretty cool. Okay, so now you can see how surveyors use numbers to describe the location of things in space. How cool is that? That's why surveyors need math. All right, let's do one more. We'll make this one a little harder. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to give you a northing and an easting. Okay, and our northing is going to be -3, and our easting is going to be +2. Okay, so here we go. We come over. Let's do our northing first. So we start here. We know we're a negative number, so we're going down. We make our temporary dot on 3, the 3 tick. Okay, then we come up here on our easting. We're +2, so we're going this way, positive. We make our temporary dot here. Okay, and then we draw our line straight down, and we draw our line straight over, and it's going to be right here in my pink text. Okay, here's our coordinate. Okay, I'm going to make those bigger circles. Okay, now we've described two different locations on this whiteboard using numbers. Okay, and that's a 2D coordinate grid. And that's why you got to know about number lines. Number lines are silly till you put two of them together. As soon as you put two of them together, you get a 2D grid. Surveyors can use 2D grids to plot the locations of points. And surveyors measure angles and distances to create points, and that's how we map. We create maps using points. So we take the points, we measure angles and distances outside, the instrument turns those into points, we bring the points into the office, and then we connect. Surveyors literally play connect the dots. Can you believe that? I get paid to play connect the dots. We literally connect the dots to draw lines. That's how we make maps. All right? So number lines have a purpose. Right? Surveyors use them to draw maps. Okay, this is called a coordinate. Remember, two numbers is a coordinate. Okay, what we did is we just plotted some coordinates on a 2D grid. We're going to talk more about 2D grids and about coordinates and about how angles and distances relate to coordinates. And we're going to go through some kind of silly examples about how you could survey with a tape measure and a number grid. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. And you're going to see math as a tool. We are going to use math to draw maps. Right? Connect the dots. How cool is that? Okay. That's it for that video. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it.